75 grand is a lot of heroin.
A sob story.
$10 million would change my life, but I would probably fuck it up.
Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they boarded
A fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus may suddenly walk the streets of Winnipeg unsupervised. The decision is causing concern. Initially, the schizophrenic had been found not criminally responsible.
before they were exonerated in 1993.
Oh.
Recording in progress.
Mm.
Is that what I understood from that? Is that they only got legalized gay wedding, like gay marriage in Australia in 2018?
Correct.
That's crazy.
Bo and I were one of the first 50 couples in the entire country to get married.
There you
Cool.
go.
Top 50.
Yeah. Yeah,
Top 50's most awesome lesbian couple in
exactly.
Australia.
Do you know how close you were to the top? Do you know what position you are? Do you know how you rank? Are you third?
No, but Bo was like
Missionary.
the other day she was like, I need to know. I've got to find out. So she's on the mission to actually find out. So when we find out, we'll let you know.
I'm
Yeah, you
interested.
should.
I'm interested. Yeah, I bet you
Thanks.
if anyone can figure it out, it'll be Bo.
Oh yeah, she's onto it.
Call the Australian FBI. Like, listen, I'm gonna need a favor.
Is there an Australian FBI?
ABI.
We have the Australian Federal Police, which is like
Kind of, I guess.
yeah, so it's kind of the same, but I
Federal
try to-
agent is a federal agent.
That's right. I try to avoid anything to do with the police as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, fuck the police. I'm understand that. I'm down with that.
Fuck 12. I think that's what they say here. I believe.
Fuck 12.
I have no idea. I might be saying something wrong and I shouldn't be saying it. I should watch what I say. Maybe a little. Would not be helpful at all to our 1 stars, but
I'm interested to know what 12 is. Is there 12 police officers? Fuck the 12 of them. Fuck.
I know. I'm gonna find out right now. I can't see anything. Why can't? Okay. Urban Dictionary means fuck the
Well, that's
police, but more specifically, it means fuck the police drug unit.
Ah, that makes
Okay.
perfect sense.
I will say that then.
Oh my
How
god.
you guys doing?
I'm not bad, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more with it now than I was when I first woke up. Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I was
Ooh.
excited to see you in like a comatose.
Oh,
Harry Shivo.
I still kind of feel, well, no, not that bad. I still kind of feel like it a little bit. I'm just, oh. But
And I was like, I wonder what a high Christie is going to be like. Ah, you hear my squeak? Okay, I was screaming a lot last night at a party. So if I squeak, that's why. I'm losing my voice a little bit.
I'm a lot more free with my words than I usually am, which is a lot because I usually just say what I think anyway, but when I'm actually a little bit blur, I'm a lot more free with my words, so it probably would have been a bit dangerous to be recording that.
I
No,
like to know what
this
you're
is-
holding back. What are you holding back on us here?
Yeah, what's going on in there? Now I need
It's
to
a
know.
mystery.
I wish like we all had thought bubbles when we're in Zoom.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
There's I don't know if I was talking about this with you guys before, but there's a Tom Holland movie with Daisy Ridley on Amazon, and it's called like Chaos Walking, I think. And
Oh yes,
all
I think
dudes, yeah, all dudes can think. So that would be interesting. Oh, you could read all dudes' thoughts.
yes.
That's if you watch it, you'll see. It'd be cool if we could see that.
Oh, I'd be intimidated, honestly. Like, I don't know if I want to
Yeah.
know this, but information is
No.
power.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my thoughts out there. My
Oh,
God, the
fuck
dark
no.
corners of my brain. Ooh.
Oh, that is.
I'm
don't
pretty
wanna
much
know
an
that.
open book, so I'm gonna go ahead and just say my thought bubbles are out there.
I can honestly picture. There's definitely a part of your brain that's like Homer Simpson, like with the monkey just.
yeah.
Most of the time, there's not a whole lot of thought going on, or it's more like Huh. What's there to eat? Need some chippies.
Are we segueing in any way? Like, have we
I don't
come
know.
close to figuring out a way to do this? No. Let me see.
No,
if I
not
can,
really. I can ask a question, I guess. I'm not usually a question
Yeah.
asker though. I usually slide in them DMs.
Well, if you give us a little bit of a hint about what we're talking about, I'm sure Richard and I can make something up.
Go fund me.
Oh,
Oh,
God, one of
hey,
these.
someone posted, who was the person that was trying to raise money for their wedding through a GoFundMe?
Oh yeah. Yep. I was like, what the fuck is this? $15,000 for a wedding? Like, looks
Yeah.
like your business isn't doing that hot, buddy.
And especially in COVID times, like, who the fuck wants to spend $15,000 on a wedding that they're probably going to have to cancel?
Yes. Good
Yeah.
point.
I feel like that's a gamble and a half. Like I said, it's like, if you can pull that off and no one's mad, why not? But if everyone hates you after, then you fucked up. But I mean, if everyone's gonna be like, here, sure, here's all your money. That's sure.
Yeah. Can
That's
I
cool.
I want to do a GoFundMe for plastic surgery.
Give me
Do
some
it.
double D's.
Yeah, give me fucking 20 grand so I can get all the fat sucked out of my gut. Thank
I'll
you.
promise I'll make lots of TikToks in return.
Yeah. Befores and afters.
The truckers here got $4 million in a GoFundMe to pay for their gas and stuff to drive, because they drove across Canada. People are trying to like the government's trying to, they can't have it because, so it's super unethical right now with that. It's like, just let them have it, man. Like,
Yeah,
you're
just
not
give it
making
to
yourself
them.
look better. Just let them fucking go across country.
They can walk, that's kind of the only options, it sounds like. Ridiculous. What are you going to do without truckers?
That's what I mean. It's bad. Our
Yeah.
country's huge too, so it's like you
Yep.
need those.
Yep.
There's a lot more remote places
Mhm.
up there.
Absolutely. We've already got supply issues in WA because of not a lot of stuff can come over the border. It's crazy. There's stuff that, like, there's shelves in the shops that are completely empty at the moment because we can't get the stock over because of
Like borders within your own country, like borders between provinces.
between our states. Yeah, we have the hardest border controls at the moment, and the rest of the country is just like, what the fuck, you guys are crazy. But the thing is, the highest rate we've had in the last month is 24 cases in 24 hours, whereas over east they're getting like 25,000 cases a day. So
Yeah.
like, there's pros and cons to it, because obviously people want to see their family, people can't come in, and some people haven't seen their family for over a year. But I personally love it because I work in the health industry and I know what's going to happen if they open our borders and we start getting 23,000 cases a day. Our hospitals we're going to be broken once it picks up. It's inevitable. Everyone's going to start getting it. It's just, you can't stop it. But I'm terrified for what's going to happen.
They don't even test us anymore. They'll do antigen, like weird ones, but
Yeah,
I find that
that's-
crazy that they're blocking borders within like that. We don't do that. They're just like,
Yeah. We've got different border controls with different states. New South Wales and Victoria at the moment are hard border. Like, you cannot come in unless you have exemption and you can prove why you need to come here. Like, if you need to travel here for medical treatment, you have to prove it. Like, you have to have letters from the doctors. And when you come here, you still have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
wow. I'm gonna get a GoFundMe for your country so they can be less strict.
I can't even remember like pre-COVID times. I can't
I know
remember
it-
what it's like.
I
you
know, it's
I'm
nuts, hey? It's
really
nuts.
not that
Like,
far away, but
yep. I was talking
I
to
can.
someone the other day about when Lara was born in April of 2020. So that's when it started to really kick off in the beginning of 2020. And when she was born, no one was allowed at the hospital. No one could visit her. And because Bobby had a cesarean, we had to stay in for nearly 6 days. We didn't see anyone, and no one met Lara for the first 6 days of her life. Like, Lara knows no different. She's a COVID baby. Like, it's so normal for her to see everyone walking around with masks on, and yeah, it's crazy. That's just going to be so normal to her.
yep.
Interesting.
Well, can you guys think back to the year of 2017?
Yes.
Can you think back that far?
I
Good
can
year.
for sure.
Well, if you were anywhere in the realm of social media in the fall of 2017, you may remember a whole lot of craziness from the United States. The world saw a solar eclipse, and then the very notorious president was elected for office. There wasn't a lot of good news during this time. Amongst the chaos of American news stories, a touching story emerged of a homeless man offering his last $20 to a lady whose vehicle ran out of gas on an I-95 off-ramp near Philadelphia. And that took the headlines by storm.
I don't remember this, but that's
What a
very
lovely-
nice.
What a lovely man.
Yeah, poor guy. Hopefully she helped him out after.
Yeah, let's get into it. So the woman, Caitlin McClure, I don't know, I'm not sure how to say it, McClure, McClure.
Hi,
She was
I'm
over-
Tracy McClure, and
Caitlin.
I'm Caitlin McClure.
And you would
might remember
recognize me from
such breakdowns from the I-90. Where are you getting going now?
So she was very overwhelmed with joy, but also sorrow for such a kind man to have to live this way. So she decided she needed to tell someone what had happened because it's not an everyday story, especially in this day and age. Caitlin shared the story with her boyfriend after she arrived home, a man named Mark D'Amico, and he was also very touched with the story and wanted to repay the man. So the next day, the pair went looking for the man named Johnny Bobbitt Jr. to repay him the $20 plus sum.
John Bobbitt Jr. Yeesh. Unfortunate name.
Yeah, very,
I
very.
know, we've bounced around McNutt and Bobbitt a lot.
Oh, dear me.
On this show.
Unfortunate name. I wonder if he ever got asked, was that your dad? He's like, God damn it, no. My dad still has his dingle. Doesn't look like a Frankenweenie.
Oh, you mean Johnny Bobbitt Sr.?
Yeah.
What?
So the couple handed him a $100 bill and thanked him for his good deed. Seeing the look on his face, the couple realized just how much this meant to Johnny. And with social media being on the rise at full speed, the pair did some research and found a crowdfunding organization called GoFundMe to help those in need. Caitlin and Mark decided to set one up for their new friend. Oh, because he was so gracious to offer his last dollar to help someone who wasn't anywhere near his disposition in life.
I vaguely remember this now. I don't remember what happens, but I vaguely remember this.
I don't know. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So the couple wrote a very heartwarming story of the event and asked the community for help to give back to Johnny. The couple set the limit to $10,000. They just basically wanted to get him off the street, if only for a week. But little did anyone know this story would be shared approximately 100,000 times, and over 17,000 people would donate to the cause.
Wow.
That's crazy. And it's a dangerous one, too. You're trying to give a homeless dude boatloads of money. $10,000 is still crazy for a homeless dude.
Yeah. And if you think of the homeless population, normally you could basically just hand them a 40 and they'd be just as happy as, money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, just think about if you gave me like $10 million, $10,000, whatever, that'd be cool. But $10 million would change my life, but I would probably fuck it up because I'm not used to having that much money. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what your wife's for, Richard.
yeah, I wish.
I would go full rock star heavy metal mode. Like, I'd be like, everyone go find me Alice Cooper. We're going to kick it for a few days. I'm going to go on the road with him for a while. We're going to see what happens. We're going to meet some people and do some things.
It's a well thought out plan, Tally.
We're going to meet people and do stuff.
Can you imagine if I ever actually met a famous person? I'd be like, hi.
Yep.
And you are?
You want to do stuff?
You want to do stuff? Want to hang out? Go ride golf carts? Drink martinis? Wild riding golf carts? I guess that's what rich people do.
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
Okay, so a few days after the GoFundMe went live, a local news reporter caught wind of the story from social media and wrote a headliner for the following day's local paper. Subsequently, Kate shared a video of her and Mark telling Bobbitt about the online donations by handing him the newspaper, which read that $769 were raised overnight. However, this fund steadily gaining more and more attention and donations by the second. By the time the video was recorded, they told him that the total was now actually up to $1,760. John tearfully replied, "This changes my whole life right here. Hell, the $769 is life-changing for me."
Yeah, of course, but they got shared like fucking 100 or 17,000 times.
By the
I
end
gotcha.
of, yeah,
Not overnight. I got you.
right. This is just the beginning.
Understood. Sorry, I just thought like people were donating 32 cents each, and we're like, this guy's homeless. He doesn't need much.
You're right. That did sound kind of ridiculous, didn't it? Here you go. Have a penny. It's about all I've got to spare. After the update was posted to Facebook, it spread like wildfire, catching the attention of Good Morning America and NBC, which quickly reached out to Kate for interviews because it was her social media that those two stories, the GoFundMe and the video, were shared to. At first, it was just Kate appearing for the interviews. She appeared nervous, shaky voice, and very, very quiet. It was clear that she was incredibly anxious to be telling her story. The interview requests kept coming, and eventually the public sees all three participants together on camera, telling their incredible story on how they became a family through random acts of kindness.
Aw.
I just think, like, I'm thinking about this. Like, imagine being that much of a douchebag to take $20 from a homeless guy because you didn't get home on time. Like, anyways, it's just like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I just think about, like, no wonder she made a fucking GoFundMe, stuff like that. She felt terrible for taking $20 from a homeless guy. Like,
Yeah.
Right? Because she doesn't have the sense to fill up her tank before driving on a freeway. It's kind of like rule number one.
yeah. I
Have
think
gas
it
in the
is.
tank on the freeway.
Yeah, and it's pretty fucking obvious when you've got no petrol. Like, hello.
No, I was just wondering if anybody, I wonder if like Katie Couric asked her that, like, why did you take $20 from a homeless guy? Why didn't you just prepare? Like, Good Morning America. I wonder if she was like grilling the lady on it. And that's why she was so nervous.
The interviews made it very heartwarming. They were like,
good.
so just tell
Well,
us the story. And questions
is
didn't
heartwarming.
really get asked. It was weird, to not ask those questions for sure. Yeah,
Right.
you're right. But they were just like, yeah, tell us the story because the world loves sappy stories, right? We love that
Mhm.
shit.
Yes.
Well, you need a good news story, especially those shows. They always like filled with like the fluff, right? Like Good Morning America is just a fluff show, so it's
Right.
perfect for that. It's like, what was that other one you did that was on Good Morning America with the psychosis?
Oh, the Tourette's girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was another, like, it's always these random
They're like, we
stories
need
like that.
help.
Yeah.
Clearly.
It's like on every reality TV show you watch, like America's Got Talent or Australia's Got Talent or whatever, and they always come out and they're like, yeah, I started singing when I was 5 because my mum got hit by a truck. Or we actually went to some auditions for the Australia's Got Talent, like the Perth ones. You can just go and watch them. And this one guy, he gets up and he's like, he was playing. Have you guys ever seen people that played the gum leaf?
Yeah. Oing, oing,
Sorry.
oing, bang, bang, oing,
Yeah.
bang.
People
It's like an
play-
instrument that sounds like
Yeah,
really
They
ridiculous.
can play a gum leaf. They put it in their lips and they're like, it's ridiculous. But
Okay.
anyway, so he gets up and he's like, yeah, when I was 7, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, so I started playing the gum leaf. And we're just like, what the fuck is dyslexia got to do with you playing the fucking gum leaf, man? It's so, and everyone's like, oh, that's so sad. And I'm like,
Brave.
what? You're such a brave man. It's just
So brave.
what
So
the
brave.
fuck? Oh my god, so ridiculous. They've all got sob stories.
If we're gonna if we talk about this, but I think that's what they look for in those people, right?
Oh, of course.
Perfect sob story, and you can at least decently sing or do whatever talent you're doing. Then
Yeah.
you can like get votes. People like
Mhm.
they just
They,
Oh,
they
yeah.
would get the golden buzzer because they're,
Yeah.
like a
They
bully
don't want
kid
someone. They
in
don't want
school.
someone to stand up and be like, "I had a perfect childhood. I've never had a bad partner. That I've always had someone that's loved me. My children are so wonderful. I have a great job. They don't want someone like that.
Yeah,
Because
they're
of-
like, go to your job. Instead,
Yeah.
like this year on America's Got Talent, they had that girl that was basically almost dead from cancer, and she could sing. She's like, I got brain cancer. It's terminal. I should be dead already. It's like, oh my God, let her go to hospital, man. But no,
Yeah.
put her on fucking.
What if she
Put her-
falls on stage?
Yeah. Put
No,
her
she
in a-
ended up quitting, but she got a golden buzzer. But my God,
Oh.
this girl's too sick. Don't do it. But exploit her sickness. You
Too sick.
fucking look her up. Nightbird with an E.
Hey, that's
One-
a freaking cool name.
Oh
Yeah.
my
It
god.
reminds me
like
of that
a new-
raven I met in a tree.
Don't pay any attention to this big IV full of glowing liquids. That's just my radiation.
This is my radium.
Yeah, this is my radiation full chemotherapy. I can still sing at the same time though. It's fine.
Honestly, I bet you she just unhooked and then went on stage and then had to go back on stage. That's how fucking sick she was. I bet you. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, she probably had a
Anyways,
nurse.
sorry.
Good Lord.
Probably had a nurse in the wings waiting to just reconnect the IV.
A whole ambulance is waiting waiting backstage for her. Roughly 6 months after the couple had met Johnny, suspicions that Mark and Kate were using the money themselves began to swirl. The suspicions rose from social media posts of the couple in Vegas and one picture in particular of Kate holding a Louis Vuitton handbag. Those are like $800.
Yeesh.
So Kate worked an office job and Mark was a freelance contractor. A combined estimated annual income is no more than $80,000 a year for the pair. And friends said that that's not their normal way of living.
It's because they couldn't live like that.
It's
That's
a
terrible.
very good point. So Mark and Caitlin had posted to social media many times about expensive trips to Las Vegas, the Grand Canyon, coastal getaways, and helicopter rides. They had also bought a brand new BMW, black, luxury handbags, and dozens of trips to casinos throughout the country. But Mark did open a bank account for Bobbitt and deposited $75,000 in it from the
Okay,
fund.
wait, I got a question. Did they do we know how much they ended up, like, did you already say how much the
Not yet.
GoFundMe ended up having? No, okay, sorry.
Not yet.
Oh.
So, but we do know that there was enough to do all of that and give Johnny 75,000.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Pretty clear there's more than that.
I'm a little torn on this
Okay.
because like 75,000, that guy's never gonna be able to do that properly anyway. I know you
Right.
shouldn't take the money, you should just return it or something, but I mean, how much money are you gonna give the fucking homeless guy?
When this was spreading out and the interviews, were kind of dwindling, Johnny Bobbitt asked the public through an attorney, I think, or maybe just a spokesperson on a news reporter or something. I'm not sure how it was said, but he asked the donations to stop and that he wanted the money to go to more valuable charities, worthy charities.
Wow.
So investigative reporter Chad Pradelli and special projects producer Cheryl Mettendorf were watching them very closely at this time. They even visited the home where it was said that Johnny bought a camper and was living on their property, but he was nowhere in sight. The reporters were asked to leave by police after the couple called them for trespassing. Shortly after this, it is discovered that all the money gained from the GoFundMe was gone, and so was Johnny. The camper he had allegedly bought was actually purchased by the couple and placed in Mark's name, not Johnny's.
To be fair, Johnny Bobbitt Jr. doesn't have any credit.
You're right.
Yeah.
To open the bank account, they had to get all sorts of documentation he didn't have. So that's why he
Yes.
didn't have an account to begin with. So this couple opened one for him, being so kind.
They're doing labor work, and I think that's worth some money. If you charge $1 million an hour to do these kind of things, this is a fair transaction.
$1 million an hour.
Both of their faces went, what is he talking about? I'm joking. It's just a joke.
Man, could you imagine if you had a job where you earned $1 million an hour? You
Yeah.
could literally
Like Beyonce.
oh yeah. What a bitch. Oh, wow.
So it was pretty clear to Johnny at this point that there was probably more than $75,000 that the couple had told him the amount grew to and willingly gave over to him. However, high-profile prosecuting attorneys began to reach out to Johnny to sue the couple for theft, and through investigations, it was discovered that over $400,000 was raised in honor of Johnny's kindness.
Not all encounters end up in the news. Some are passed down from family, some are kept hidden in journals, and some are reported on the Nightmare Society podcast. On the Nightmare Society, we share your true horror stories, chilling accounts of home invasions, attempted kidnappings, obsessive stalkers, and even close calls with convicted murderers before they landed on a most wanted list. So come join us if you dare, because the scariest stories are the ones that really happened.
It's called GoFundMe, not GoFund the homeless guy. So
That is true. We'll get into
Wow,
that too.
that's fucking bonkers. $400,000 and they gave like less than a quarter of it to him. That's fucked.
Within like 6 months, 6 to 8 months. That's how much it came out to. Just crazy.
That's a lot of money.
That's just
So
definitely-
Johnny has got some balls, and he publicly claimed that the couple was using the funds as, quote, a personal piggy bank for a lifestyle they can't afford.
no shit.
Yep. So just shy of a year after the GoFundMe was created, the heat finally caught up to the couple that this was a huge donation scam. Johnny's attorney allowed him to have an exclusive interview with the media to tell his side of the story. Are you ready for this? Johnny admitted that the whole thing was planned and made up by the couple.
Wow. So he didn't even give her $20.
Right.
Wow.
Oh.
Katie Couric's gonna eat the shit out of this. You gotta make it the story.
They went on some show called Michelle Kelly. I've never heard of it. So I guess Katie was like, fuck you guys. Not important
Yeah.
to me. John and Mark had actually met at a casino a few months before and created the plan for Kate to, quote, run out of gas on the freeway. The most apparent motive for this plan is Mark's self-proclaimed gambling, air quotes, habit, and Johnny's full-blown heroin addiction.
Oh, so they did try to kill the homeless guy. See, if they honestly, and I'm just being a dickhead by saying this, but seriously, the plan would have worked a lot better if you just would have given the guy a bunch of heroin and then made him write a will saying all this money goes to them, and then just let him fucking kill himself give him all the money, let him heroin himself to death, then he could have it all. I know it's super dark, you know what I mean, to think that way. But like, oh my God, you don't think anyone's gonna fucking catch you, dude?
I'm
Of course
sure
people are
a
gonna catch you.
homeless drug addict would definitely take $75,000 to just write a will, not knowing, you know what I mean? Not knowing that they like intend him to overdose, you know?
These guys are crazy. That's
You
such a
can't say that
crazy
this
thing to
trio
do.
is very smart.
75 grand is a lot of heroin.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if this is the plan, okay, you just give him all the money and say, now give me half of it. He could just gift it to them anyway. What's the difference? My God, I know you have to pay taxes and shit. You would have lost probably half of it or a third of it or whatever, but still you
Yeah.
would have had it.
And
I'm
these,
upset now.
these, I think these three were all in their late 20s or at least early 30s. So they absolutely knew that social media was going to eat up a sob story. It's what it does, right?
Mhm.
The underlying motive is simply greed. It is believed the idea could have sprouted from a Facebook post from Johnny in 2012, so 5 years prior, of him changing a tire for a lady on the side of the road when he was living in Montana. And I'm not sure if he was homeless or not at that time. So Kate was the last to know of this plan. In order to protect herself, Kate secretly recorded an argument with Mark, placing the blame directly on him. The recording is as damning as it can get, because Mark starts listing the dollar amounts and what it was spent on from the donations. He starts yelling at Kate, calling her a weak slug, and how dare she blame him. He said, "You can't go to jail for lying on TV, you dumb bitch." To which she replied, "Who made me lie on TV? Who cares?" He answered.
Oh.
Okay, how long were these guys together?
Quite a while. And Mark is 10 years older than Kate. So he's like probably in his late 30s. They're in their late 20s.
Just interesting that she's throwing him under the bus. That's all. Not taking any
Yeah,
responsibility.
I think the reason for that was to try to pin, like she knew the heat was on. She knew that they were catching up and that they were going to go down. So I think what she was doing was trying to make Mark look like the ringleader, not that they created the plan together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, I got you. But if me and my wife came up with something like this, I would be the one being like, she never had anything to do with it. It was all me. I would like throw myself on the sword.
Yeah,
And I expect
same.
Sarah to do the same thing instead of the opposite, right? Which is like, or I try to give it to the heroin addict. Be like, he made me do it.
Yeah.
That just proves what a nice guy you are, Richard, because this guy is calling her mean names.
Yeah, that's so awful. He's
A
terrible.
weak slug. I've never heard of that one before, but I'm like, ouch.
Ugh. Yeah.
I would hate hearing that. Knowing that this guy who's supposed to be my boyfriend is like conspiring against the fucking federal government. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Don't know
Just
what to
goes
do.
to-
I'm scared.
Just goes to show how
Naive
cared about
she
her
was.
and how much he cared about her in the beginning, really.
Right.
just
So
turn-
she had
turn
to
around.
just be completely blinded by love or just naive and 10 years his junior.
If you're gonna be like committing crimes with your significant other, you have to like completely love them. You can't go be a half in with it. Otherwise it's not gonna work. One of you two are gonna throw each other under the bus.
That's right.
You know?
And imagine trying to hold this lie together when there's 3 heavily moving parts, just all going at a whim. Nobody's communicating. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
John just takes off,
It was doomed to
starts
fail.
tweeting like a bird.
Yeah, it was doomed to fail from the very beginning.
Yep, I agree with that. So federal prosecutors flipped through over 60,000 text messages between the trio just to
God.
highlight
Jesus
how
Christ.
smart they really were and how far they thought this through.
How fucking boring.
Well, isn't like the first thing you do when you're conspiring is to delete your text messages? I'm no expert.
You don't leave
Like,
a fucking paper trail, you dickheads. Oh.
I wouldn't
Literal
be texting at
breadcrumbs.
all because I don't even think you can delete them. Like they could still see them. Just because you
Yeah,
delete them
you-
off your phone doesn't mean they don't exist.
Exactly.
I
Now
think
things
you're
like
correct.
now things like the cloud exist. Everything's up there.
Yeah, don't send
can't.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
So mostly the damning text messages were sent from Kate. It was discovered that just an hour after the GoFundMe was created, Kate texted her best friend confessing that the whole thing was made up for financial gain.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She even continued to text her friend, this same friend, after they were being investigated, saying, "I'm keeping all the money. Fuck you very much."
I do love fuck you very much. I should use it more often. It's fun.
Yeah.
There was also an instant message exchange between Johnny and Mark right before Johnny left. Johnny wanted out and for the donations to stop. He told Mark that he had planned to leave. Mark responded that he will take him to the bus station himself and watch him get on the bus. I have no idea why. I guess he was a threat.
Yeah, because
So
he could expose everything. So he probably just wanted to make sure that he was actually going to leave.
But yeah, he wanted to like have the distance before he started chirping.
Yeah.
So in October of 2018, a federal court judge immediately ruled that the couple return every penny that was donated to the GoFundMe. Mark D'Amico was deemed the person who was in charge of the scam. He pleaded guilty to misapplication of entrusted property and was sentenced to 5 years in state prison.
Yikes.
Wow.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, he's going to get more because he later pleaded guilty to federal wire fraud and has not yet been sentenced under the federal court.
And I'm not joking when I say child molesters get less, so that's fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
fucking Ethan Couch didn't even go to prison for fucking killing
Yeah,
people.
killing 4 people. Yeah, for sure.
Jesus.
Right.
And
And in the
this-
investigation, they took everything from their house. They took the BMW, the handbags, the TV, the electronics, everything,
Yeah.
so at least some of it was paid back, but not nearly enough.
Wow.
So Kate and Johnny were not included on the federal wire fraud charges, as it has been ultimately discovered that D'Amico was in control of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Both Kate and Johnny pleaded to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Kate was sentenced to 4 years in state prison, and Johnny received a court-mandated inpatient rehabilitation for his opiate addiction. And I believe if he's rehabilitated, he may have to serve prison time.
After rehab, usually they put them in jail
Yeah.
and like give them rehab in jail.
They don't do that.
I live
They
in a
let you
different country.
withdraw real bad, take care of you. Or you could just get the drugs in jail. You know, just be the guy
So-
with tobacco, right?
That's right. It's so random that these. Okay, I got a question. Why is it federal wiretapping charges for? Like, why? What's the federal charge for? Because it's like money across borders and everything.
Yes. Many people were involved. And they kind of just had to
Crazy.
set, you know, they had to set the precedent of how they're gonna
Yeah, for
navigate.
sure. Yeah, and if
in the future.
GoFundMe is like a international company, right? Like you can make a GoFundMe in any part of the world. So it's good that the states put a big hammer down on this because usually a lot of people will follow the first rulings. Like if that happened in Canada now, we'd go look at the states and go like, what did they do? Okay, we'll do something similar.
Yeah.
So that's good that they threw the hammer down. So did they just give back all the money when they got the money back? Did they give it back to all the people that had donated?
Yep.
Were
All
they-
the money was returned to the donors through GoFundMe. So whatever money wasn't able to be retained was just paid out.
By GoFundMe. Okay.
Yep. And then they did change a few things with their security systems. And the biggest one being that if you start a GoFundMe, the money has to go to someone else. But I
Yes.
mean, think about that rule in this situation. How would they have done it? They would have just used his name, right? Johnny's name.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't answer why they never got a trustee. And obviously it was because they were using the money themselves.
No, this story is so indicative of the times. Like I find these fucking GoFundMes and shit I never want to donate to them because I'm too scared that they're a scam now. You know,
Yep.
I'm too scared that people are just fucking with me. Do these people need the money? I don't know. Like I was
Yes.
telling there was a girl in my hometown. I'm not going to say her name, but people that are listening from that live around here know who the fuck I'm talking about. She got diagnosed with brain cancer, or so she said. She was like doing GoFundMe's, trying to get me to do fundraiser shows and shit. And then she just disappeared one day. And then we all found out it was fucking horse shit. And she changed her name on Facebook. She did all sorts of shit like that. She married some like 65-year-old man who died a couple of years later. She moved to Toronto, like the big city, and like married some fucking, like I said, 65-year-old who died like 2 years later. Like she looks like a fucking scary person. And that's the experience I have with these GoFundMe. So even with Humboldt, there's like 4 or 5 people who tried to like make their own GoFundMes for that. Like, fuck,
Yep.
man.
Yeah,
are
people.
fucked.
Yeah,
Or
they
people will
just.
set one up to have a wedding. Like, is that an appropriate use for the I don't think so. I really don't. Like, that's so
I've seen
personal.
so many. There's like I saw one for a woman that was raising money to get lap band surgery because she was 300 kilos or something. But I think a couple people did, but it wasn't.
Your accent made me think you said lap dance surgery. And I was like, what is lap dance surgery? And how do I get it?
It's called a Brazilian butt lift. So the thongs look
lap
smaller.
dance surgery is performed by a guy called Steve in the back room of a dirty nightclub.
And it looks like he
Magic
eats a lot of powdered donuts.
Yeah, these crowdsourcing things, it's like and I'm not trashing, like if you guys want more of our content, go to our Patreon. But it's like Patreon to me. When Patreon first came out, like, okay, we started with a Patreon right off the bat. So I think we have a different case. But a lot of people, when they, like other places, they never had Patreons right away. And then they got Patreons and then their podcast started to suck. Takes away their drive because all their good stuff goes behind a paywall.
Yeah, true.
Dinards fucking things. I don't know about these crowdsourcing, get your buddies to pay for things. We should get our Patreon. People should be able to give us NFTs instead of $10 a month. I'll take some NFTs.
Yeah.
Play my hand at that.
Yeah, give me some dunks. I want to see Jordan dunks that are ours.
Everybody who was involved got in trouble. So, I mean,
Good.
they didn't get off scot-free or anything. They're not living on a yacht in Bali or anything.
Belize is beautiful. I imagine it's in South America like that. Fuck, I bet you it's beautiful.
Yeah, be stunning.
But like the most shocking part of this entire thing to me would be the amount of time people got for less than $1 million being scammed and most of it being given back. Like, I don't know how much, do they know how much they had recovered from the whole thing versus how much got spent?
It says all the money was returned to the donors.
Wow.
No, to the donors, but I mean how much they gathered back and then how much like GoFundMe had to pay out of pocket because they spent it. Because some of the stuff you probably couldn't get money back for, like the BMW, they're not giving you full price back. You know what I mean? Or your Louis Vuitton, you're not getting that back. They must have lost some money out of it.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, which prompted them to change behind the scenes stuff. How much can that really do? And if I remember correctly, there was like a bot scam going on. Like if you donated, it would just like take your information instead of donating. I don't ever donate to GoFundMe's, but if it's like, you know, someone I know or on social media, I'll reach out to the person and say like, what bank and what name is it under?
How can I help?
Yeah. And then I'll just send it directly to the bank through my bank and tell them exactly what it's for and everything like that.
GoFundMe takes 10% anyway, right?
It does. Yep.
Yes.
Yep, it does. There are other options that don't. I don't remember what they are right now. Probably a good thing. But there are other organizations that give you full donations. There's no percentage.
I'm like you, Tally. If I know the person, and then I'll just send them, transfer them, or them know them, or whatever, fucking shit like that. Because
it seems like people are being a lot better about that and saying, you know, in their posts, like, if you're not comfortable with this, go ahead and use this bank, mention their name. Probably all stemmed from this story, you know, like everyone's so scared to do it because they think it's a joke, which is sad for the people who are like, you know, sick or
the people that are using it for a genuine reason suffer because of people like this.
Yep.
You know what I genuinely despise is on your birthday when Facebook's like, what charity do you want to donate to? Guys, I fucking hate that. Facebook. Fuck you, Facebook. I'm not giving
and
you
no one
donates.
Break. It seems so not legit. It just doesn't seem legit.
Yeah.
People donate on my side. I see enough people donate, which I find crazy. And they don't pay, like Facebook doesn't take any money out of that. It goes straight to them, but they definitely claim it on their taxes as charitable donation.
Yeah. 100%.
So fuck you, Zuckerberg, you piece of shit. You're like one of the richest people in the world. Go suck a bag, man.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
How about you donate money, Zuckerberg? Stop making fucking like
you donate to me for my birthday, you fuckhead.
Exactly.
Give me money for my birthday.
I'll take 10,000. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fun. I had a guy message me on Instagram last week. He's like, hey, are you interested in being a sugar baby? And I was like, I'm like, sure, mate. I'm absolutely interested. Put some money into my bank account right now and then we'll talk. I played him on for ages and ages. And then he's like, do you want to talk to some of my other sugar babies? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So he sent me all like pre-recorded videos of all these other women being like, oh, thank you so much, Daddy, for my $5,000. I got it after I did my Bitcoin verification. And I was like, oh, there it is. It is.
That's sad. I was hoping you'd have to just throw. I was hoping you'd have to throw a few pussy pics, and then get this guy to give you $500 here and there. That'd be worth it.
I'd do it. And
of course you would. Why wouldn't you do it?
Bo and I've already talked about it. She's like, if these guys genuinely will give you money for photos of your feet or your ass or whatever, as long as your face
sucks.
As long as your face isn't in it, do it.
Yeah, of course. You don't even have to have your own if your face isn't in it. You can just find a pussy on the internet.
Exactly.
It's not hard to find. Trust me.
Exactly.
Not hard to find.
I've seen lots of pictures of cats on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
People will buy like worn socks or worn underwear.
That's
like, why? Why?
Bo and I actually have an acquaintance that did that for a while, and she ended up buying a house with the money that she made. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I'm not kink shaming.
I'm sorry, Richard, but men are fucking gross.
Oh, trust me, I'm fully aware. I've been in hockey dressing rooms. I've hung out with just straight up dudes doing talking dudes. I know what's going on.
She would take requests and they would be like So I want you to buy a new pair of underwear and wear them for an entire week. And then once you've done that, I want you to urinate on them and put them in a bag and send them to me in the mail. And she'd be like, yep, sure, this much. And they'd do it.
I would be like, I mean, I would say I did it, but not actually do it. Just like grab a pair of my underwear and chuck it in a bag.
I piss my underwear for free over here. I could be making good money. Nobody wants to
Listen,
buy piss.
I'll dance for food. That's all I want.
Just feed me.
Yeah, and I will dance. That's it.
Oh, fuck.
No certain style of dancing, just me finger pointing and kicking my feet. That's the only way I know how to dance.
What's the girl's name again? I just want to look her up.
Caitlin
McClure.
McClure.
All I want to see is if could she have just sold her underwear and saved everyone a lot of trouble. That's where I'm at.
She absolutely could have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely could have. Wouldn't put it
buying
past
her
her if
underwear.
she's not doing it right now because she is so broke from dealing with beds.
There you go. Caitlin, there you go. There's your answer. Start selling your urinated on panties on the internet and you'll be fine.
From prison. Oh wait, she's probably out now.
Well, that's
Close
what they
to
did
it.
on that's what they did on Orange is the New Black.
That's right.
Piper enlisted her brother and they started selling used prisoner underwear on the
Oh
internet.
yeah. Yeah, I remember now. Oh, I guess that was a suppressed memory. Thank you.
Sorry.
These,
I reawakened it.
these three deserve everything they get. Honestly, my God, I'm looking
Yeah.
at them now. My God. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all
I
I wanted to know.
guess I guess Johnny was a Marine.
Oh.
And then after he was done with the Marines, he was a paramedic. And
Wow. So he was
told
actually
his-
a reasonably intelligent man.
Yes, and he was enthralled with becoming a flight nurse.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And in this time frame is when his addiction began. I didn't write it in there because, you know,
This is a
I just like to stick to timelines. Otherwise, I'm like, I could go off forever on this one.
this is a very good unethical story, Tally.
Thank you.
No, for sure. I feel like this is one of the better ones for an unethical thing because it's so contemporary. You know, it's such a thing that's in our lives now.
Yes.
Yep.
And I feel that all the time with the whole like I feel it when I see a GoFundMe. Oh, like God, I hate these things.
Mhm. I know what you're saying. I do the same thing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why would you be asking people for money for this?
I get little cancer kid and single mom with 7 kids, but most of the time it's not that.
Yep.
No.
We had a guy in our community fake having stomach cancer. And there was like donation little peanut butter jars, you know, all over gas stations and shit. And every once in a while he'd come in. He did start a GoFundMe and everyone, and I mean every single comment was like, fuck this dude. Because he had already been caught so many times before. Like he had just got out of jail in our county and went and made a GoFundMe saying that he had cancer again.
You know what?
In
I'd
the
be
brain.
more willing to donate to him if he was just like, look, I'm fucked up loser that just got out of prison. I've got no money.
He is a drug addict. So
Give
I
me
went,
$20.
went right to drugs.
I need $20
And
for
I
gas.
think his wife too,
Yeah.
because she was definitely part of it.
I'm with
Yeah.
you though. Prisoners should do this more often. I just got out of jail. I'm fucked. You know, that's
Yeah,
more.
we-
I'd be more apt to give that honestly, because then it looks like they're at least like want out of their shitty lifestyle, or
Or maybe we can start a GoFundMe so we can all meet each other.
It's okay. We can edit anything out.
I love it. I love it.
There was a pastor have you guys heard of Hillsong?
Mm-mm.
They're like
No.
the biggest church Pentecostal like church group in Australia, and one of their main pastors, a youth pastor, he pretended that he had, I think it was brain cancer or something like that, and he was like fully into it. Like he made himself lose shitloads of weight. He looked sick, and then he pretended that Jesus had healed him. And like
Oh,
people
no.
were flocking to the church and donating all this money and everything. And then someone
Like a snowball effect on that one.
And then someone outed him and was like, this has never happened. He's never been sick. Like this is just a complete and utter farce.
Again, your accent when you were saying pastor, I thought you were saying pasta, and you were saying the biggest pasta or pasta, as Tally would say. So
yeah,
I
we
thought
say
you were,
we say pasta. For
so
pasta.
say pastor and pasta.
So what pasta? I can't. It's like when, like paste.
Same exact word.
Paste. Like when I say pat, so like paste on like glue.
Yeah.
And then it's pasta and pasta are the same word, but they're different. Because we eat pasta for dinner and the pastor talks in a church.
I would eat him too.
I'll differentiate next time when I say I'm having pasta for dinner.
You guys really got to get on R's. That's all. The
R's.
R's are cool. Nothing wrong with an R. The letter R.
Very piratey.
Pastor.
It's too long.
Pasta. Fuck the R's.
It's too long. Take it off.
It's too much with the tongue. Too much tongue.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Unethical Podcast. If you're not in the Facebook group, stop being such a silly goose and come find us at UNETHICULT, the official Unethical podcast group. If you find you just can't handle the anticipation until the next episode, then it's a great time to join our Patreon, where we have a ton of extra unethical content, and of course, our brother podcast, Private Dicks. And in case you didn't hear the good news, Private Dicks is now Public Dicks. Every 2 weeks, an episode of Season 1 will drop wherever you eat your podcasts, and our lucky Patreon patrons are literally living in the future, listening to new episodes from Season 2. On the fence about it? Have a listen to the trailer and see what you think. If you've got a case, big or small, give the Private Dicks a call. And yes, the phone number is real. Enjoy!
Have you got a mystery that needs solving?
Where is Amelia Earhart?
We know.
Who the hell was DB Cooper?
Ah, easy.
Bermuda Triangle?
Probably solve that one next.
Here at Private Dicks, we guarantee a mystery solved every episode.
That's with a capital G.
Every second Friday, the Private Dicks take a client, record their session, and solve the world's greatest mysteries.
One by one.
Private Dicks solve them, no problem. God, I love just crushing mysteries. Search up Private Dicks on your favorite podcatcher and you can solve a mystery too.
The mystery of what's your favorite podcast?
It's Private Dicks, another one solved.
If you have a mystery to be solved, call 1-855-PRVT-DIX. That's 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS.
Call 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS and leave us the rundown of the case. Maybe the Dicks will solve it.
855 Private Dicks. Because I'm straight when it comes to humans, but fucking gay from old people.